How's it, guys? Welcome to the Wild Protea. My name is Clinton Jarman. Thanks once again for joining me. As you all know, if you've been following, I'm trying to start a fan channel, South African sports fan channel. Now, most of the time I talk about, things that I know relatively well. Cricket, soccer, and rugby is more my forte than anything else. But like I said in previous videos, I'd like to engage with you guys about football, about other sports. But I focus on the stuff that I know because obviously I know it. So, and if you want to challenge me on anything, feel free. So yeah, what I'm going to do is before I get into things, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you can get all the latest from the Wild Protea. Yeah. So what I've done is I've had a look at. So in the news recently, Andile Petlequire says he wants to play around 100 test matches for the Proteas. Now, it's not impossible because he's still a young lad. I just had a look at some future all-rounders in test matches that maybe we should have that I should have a look at in terms of who would be that guy who's going to be that stalwart for the next, say, 10 years, 5-10 years or whatever. Andile's obviously got his foot in the door, and Wild Protea as well. One guy who I failed to mention because I don't think he's the future of the all-rounder position for South Africa. So I'm going to look at the test matches this week. Next week we'll do one days, and the week after we'll do T20 games. And the reason why obviously I do cricket is because I know more about cricket than any other sport in South Africa. It's the sport I've played for a long time, and it's the sport I've watched more than anything else. So if you're wondering why it's more cricket orientated, then that's probably the reason. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at the all-rounders now that I think we should have a look at for a test match berth pretty soon. Andile Petlequire, obviously, first name that comes to mind, 24 years old. His career stats don't jump off the page. He's batting, he's scored 688 runs at an average of 20, high score being 64, and then bowling, he's got 40 wickets at an average of 37. Now, you might say that, it doesn't really jump off the page there, but for me, he's been playing one-day cricket for a long time for South Africa, and that's probably why his first-class stats aren't as high, because he's kind of in and out of that team. Also, last season, he had 249 runs at an average of 27, and 8 wickets at an average of 35. So his batting average may be going up there. I think, with Andile, he has to improve with the bat. He has to make considerable improvements with the bat if he wants to be that all-rounder. With the ball, I've got no doubt he's got the skills to come in and do well in Test cricket. But with the bat, he needs to be more consistent with the bat. And I think he's got to get that at first-class level, which I don't know if he's going to get because, like I said, he plays a lot of one-day cricket. So it's a bit tough. Maybe you should concentrate more on one-day cricket. Although, he's still young, he's still only 24 years old, he's got a lot of time, so he can work on that aspect. But I don't think you want to be working on that aspect of your game at that level, at test level. So that's one for me that's, he wouldn't be the first one I would pick, put it that way. And then we've got Jason Smith from the Cobras, 25 years old, so still young. His career stats here, 2,758 runs at an average of 41, so that immediately says, he's done pretty well there. Highest score of 121, so he can score hundreds, get big scores. And then with the ball, 101 wickets at an average of 25. Now, that's not too bad. For an all-rounder, if you're going to average 40 and get with the bat and 25 with the ball, that'll be excellent in Test cricket. Obviously, it won't translate to Test cricket. I reckon that would probably be about batting average of 25 and maybe 30 bowling average. But Jason Smith he's come on in leaps and bounds in the last couple of years, last couple of seasons. I just having a look at his stats today. The last 2 seasons, he's scored over 450 runs at a decent average, and he's getting high up the batting rankings at the Cobras as well. So he might be one to look out for, one that I would pick. Just looking at his stats last season, 452 runs at an average of 32, 11 wickets at 35. So he used pretty sparingly with the ball, but with the bat also still producing some decent performances. And then I've got George Linder, also from the Cobras, 28 years old, so he's a bit older than some of the other guys, but that just means maybe he knows his game a bit better. Again, his stats don't really jump off the page. Batting wise, had 1,894 runs at an average of 29, highest score of 148, so you can get that big score as well. With the ball, 183 wickets at 24.5, which is not too bad. And then last season his stats were 345 runs at an average of 49, which is excellent, and then 30 wickets at an average of 20. So if you just take last season's stats into account, then he's on an upward trend, and hopefully that would continue. He's already made his debut in the Test side, and I think it's tough for him to get in with Keshev already there. But I think George Linder might be one for the future in T20 and one-day cricket. He might be that finisher, because he's quite a long ball. He might be that finisher that we're looking for, and also a guy, he bowls pretty well in the death. He bowls pretty well up front as well. So I think we should definitely look at him in the one-day format. Test arena, with Keshev being in the side, I just don't know how many games he's going to get at that level, at Test level. So that's going to be difficult for him. And then another one here, Dayan Khalim. Now, Dayan plays for the Titans. He used to actually be in Cape Town, but he moved up country to get game time, and it's worth. He's played pretty well. He's 23 years old. In terms of with the bat, he's got 1,422 runs, an average of 36.5. So that's not too shabby considering where he's batting most of the time. 7, 8, and 9, I believe. His highest score is 108, and then with the ball, 83 wickets at 29. Again, for an all-rounder, those are pretty good stats. Averaging just under 40 and just under 30 with the ball. So that's pretty good. Last season wasn't great for him, but hopefully he can improve. 310 runs at 25. So again, not too bad. But not great either. But then again, like I said, for the position he plays, averaging 25 isn't too bad. I mean, Vern averaged around 25 in Test cricket, which for most of his Test career he batted 8-9. So that's not too bad at 8-9. I'll take that. And then with the ball, 21 wickets at 35. Now that for me needs to improve in Dayan. Is his wicket taking ability there? 21 wickets is still quite a few, but that average needs to come down a bit before he makes the Test side. But 23 years old, still a long career ahead of him. I think he'll feature more in one-day cricket as well if he ever plays for South Africa. I think he could definitely make the step up. He had a pretty good momentum one-day cup. But yeah, also one to look out for the future. And then probably the one that most notably jumps off the page is Wiaan Mulder. Now, Wiaan Mulder came into the South African setup from a young lad already. He's already played a Test match. I think he's already played a couple of one-days as well, maybe even some T20s. He has struggled a bit the last couple of seasons with injury. So I have looked at his stats here. With the bat, 1,476 runs at 38. That's pretty good. Highest score of 146 shows he can play that long innings as well. With the ball, that's what jumps out to me more than anything. He's got 84 wickets at an average of 23.4, which is excellent for an all-rounder. That's getting into sort of Rabada territory there with that average. And then his last season, I don't think he played much last season. He was injured for a lot of last season. So his stats here from 2018-2019 when he last played, 22 wickets at an average of 22. So that is 22.7. So that is pretty good for an all-round. I couldn't find batting stats for him for 2018-2019, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, anyway. But for me, Wian Mulder, he looks like the type of guy who could be that next Test all-rounder for South Africa. You know, just looking at those stats, you know, it looks pretty good. You know, he's only 22, so he's still got a long way to go. You know, obviously Andile and Duana are in the Test squad at the moment, but I would love to see Wian in there. I believe he's got a great future ahead of him. Hopefully it'll be more in the Test setup than the one-day setup. I think the Test setup is crying out for a decent all-rounder, and hopefully he can deliver in the coming years. And then we've got Sunaran Mutusami. Now I hope I haven't butchered his name there. He's 26 years old. His stats with a bat are 3,743 runs at an average of 32, and then with the ball 157 wickets at an average of 28, highest score 181, so that's not too bad. You know, that batting average could come up a bit. He has been playing for a long time in first class cricket since 2013. Very highly thought of. He obviously did play that Test match in India, didn't do brilliantly. I think his first attribute is with the ball, but you know, averaging in the 20s for a spinner is very, very good. But having said that, you know, spinners generally take a lot of wickets in South Africa because, from what it looks like, we just can't play spin. So, one to look at as well. Last season, his stats were 242 runs at an average of 30. And then with the ball, 21 wickets at 27. So he maintains that sort of 27, 28 every season, which is pretty good. 21 wickets is a decent haul as well. So those are the all-rounders that I think we should look at in Test match cricket. You know, I'm not really a fan of Wild Protea at Test level. I just think, you know, if you're going to come in as an all-rounder and you're going to bat behind Vernon Philander, I'm sorry, but then you're not really an all-rounder, are you? Because then what purpose are you fulfilling? None really. So I think maybe give him one or two. You know, there's a rumor going around that he only played Test matches because he was going to go on Kolpak, which, I mean, I couldn't disagree with more. The guy's got to make the side first and foremost, and I just think perhaps you know Wian Mulder was probably looked at, but he was injured for most of last season, so that's probably why he wasn't in the Test setup. I think he would have been, for me, first name on the page there. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Get commenting, guys. Reach out. Love to hear what you guys. Who do you think should be the next all-rounder? I don't want to say great all-rounder. That's too much pressure, because obviously Jacques was an absolute freak. Jacques Kallis was once in a lifetime, once in a generation cricketer. You'll never see him again. You know, all these guys that they compare to him, like Ben Stokes or whoever else, is just, for me, it's just ridiculous, because Jacques did it for 20 years and he was the best. And for me, he's the best cricketer that we've ever produced, and perhaps the world has ever produced. You know, as an all-round cricketer, you don't really get much better than 10,000 runs in each format, over 200 catches, over 200 wickets in each format. That's just ridiculous. The advent of T20 cricket might make it very tough for all-rounders these days. I see there's more of a focus, in my mind, on bowling these days in the all-rounder department. You know, they want a guy, and Chris Morris is probably the stereotypical all-rounder these days. He can bowl well and he can bat a little bit. You know, come in at the end of innings and sort of finish things off. And I think that's what T20 cricket has allowed for, is those guys to focus more on that side of their game, with the bowling, and then just being able to bat a bit just seems like it's enough. And I just don't like, to be a true all-rounder, you should make the side with both bat and ball. And most all-rounders these days just won't make the side with both bat and ball. One exception was probably Shakibul Hassan. That man is obviously, he's going to go down as one of the greats, but not many others. I mean, if you look at Ben Stokes now, Ben Stokes, for me, his batting is great, but would he make the side as a pure bowler? I'm not sure. Yes, he has those spells which every now and then turn the game, but I'm not sure consistently he delivers for the team, averaging sort of around 35 with the ball, or around 32 with the ball. So I don't think he would make the side purely as a bowler. I think he'd definitely make the side as a batter. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think? Will it be Andile? Will it be Vian, as I think? Or will it be someone else? Could it be Matasami, Dan Halim, also George Linder? One of these guys need to stand up and make it count. My favourites are Vian Mulder and Jason Smith, actually. I think Jason's a fantastic cricketer. He's done really well over the last few seasons, and a call-up can't be too far away for him. And then just a little side note here, the 3-team cricket that I said was cancelled or postponed is now going to take place on the 18th of July. So, like I said before, it's a new format. We don't know what to expect. So we're going to have to just wait and see what happens on that one. And then I'll bring it to you what my thoughts are straight after that one takes place on the 18th of July. And that is pretty much all I have for you guys today. So before I leave you, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe also to the Fair Digest YouTube channel to get. Also, don't forget to hit that notification button to get all the latest from the Wild Protea and the Fair Digest. And then, guys, get commenting. I'd love to hear from you. And what you think of what I'm trying to do here, and so on, and things that I bring up and topics and so on and so forth. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday evening, and I'll see you guys again next week. Have a good one.